I find it a very soothing
It's like
lullaby
you're safe,
of
come on
the
home.
foghorn, but never having been to sea in that. Right,
Well, it probably would be
else.
soothing at sea, because at least you know where you were going to bump into something.
I had this vision of working in the country, of doing really innovative, exciting work with creative people. And where I imagined being, it wasn't here necessarily, because I'd never really imagined that we could do it here. But 5 years on, lo and behold, we found ourselves living in that picture. It was amazing. It was fantastic.
I've always been drawn to the ocean, and I happened to find this picture of Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, but I didn't know where it was, and I just said, that's the place I want to live. And I just announced to Tony that, guess what, we're moving to Nova Scotia.
Builders of the new Lunenburg schooners.
We were looking for a place to found the distillery. We looked around and we thought, okay, we don't want to be in the city any longer. We want a smaller community, but we want an interesting community. And in Lunenburg, it was a pretty easy decision to make. We looked around and said, it's a town of 3,000 or so souls, and they have at least 4 excellent restaurants.
I was living in Marblehead, Massachusetts. I was the hat lady of Marblehead. Then we were able to buy a house, but not in Marblehead, so we moved to upstate New York, which is very beautiful, but we were in the country where there's no sidewalks. Madness. I had it very clear in my mind that I would find some place that had sidewalks and a place where my child could play outside on the street. We took a trip the summer before we moved, and it just was perfect.
When you walk outside at the end of the day, when I don't have to sit on a streetcar or deal with traffic or that commute, even a half-hour commute, used to make me crazy. But here, I walk out of here and I'm home in 4 minutes. Come on, you. Each of the seasons has its own beauty here. Winter here can be absolutely gorgeous. Summer here is fantastic. They're just great summers here. The beaches around are phenomenal, and we make the most of it. With the advent of broadband and the internet, there is no real geographic limitation to where you do the work that you do.
I sell online quite a bit. That's one of the beauties of the internet. I have customers in Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong. So a little bit of everything. I started setting up at the local farmers market, and with all the tourists coming through Lunenburg, there was a very good reaction to my hats. Lovely is a lovely store that is dedicated to representing Canadian designers from all over the country. We have now decided to work together, so come this spring, I'm going to be selling my hats to Lovely.
So we nervously opened the doors going, okay, now we've got a product, we've got a place, we've spent all this money. We really believe this is going to take off. What's going to happen? And within 5 minutes, one of the neighbors from up the street was going by with a whole crew of sailing friends that had just sailed into Lunenburg from the northeast US. And they all piled in here, and they bought and they drank and they sampled and they liked it all. And so it was an amazing beginning, and it really was reflective of what was to come. One of the things that intrigued us about Lunenburg was the diversity of industry here. Something as large as Atlantic Composites producing high-tech parts for international aircraft production. ABCO producing marine projects, including small high-tech cutters for the Coast Guard. HB Studios producing video games used and enjoyed around the world.
I'm one of the luckiest guys around to be able to do what I do and live where I live. I get to build a family here. My family gets to grow up here surrounded by beauty and by the ocean and in the woods, and that we're involved in creating some of the most innovative and compelling new entertainment products that are on the market.
We have a ton of friends. It's a wonderful community, very supportive. I think a lot of it is because there's so many people like ourselves that are entrepreneurs or started their own businesses. I would say that Lunenburg's a wonderful place to make something happen. It's a great place to create the job of your dream.
The 2 apple tarts.
We started small, and it worked.
It's here.